bet you can hear me now. Alright. Okay. That was a waste of my time. Maybe I can overdub it. I really wish I remembered that. Hopefully you can hear me now. So, got this new wireless mic. Works well. It really does, as long as I wear it. So, what happened here was I was trying to extend this by just one stud, and it wasn't working because there is a plate that goes from here to the front, and that supports where the driver sits. So I can't take that off. I don't have any 9 links. I only got 10s or 8s. I can cut them, like I said, but I think right now we'll just use the original design, and just the back end looks like it's just a little bit bigger. So we'll do that for now until we get that. So that was interesting. That goes back in there. Then that plate goes back on. Squeegee. And we just kind of put it on. Okay, well, that's what we get for trying to prototype stuff. So we gotta just make sure it works. When it doesn't work, you gotta go a different direction. Guess what? Go in a different direction. I'm gonna leave it as is until I get some 9 links or I cut some pieces for it. But that'll be good enough for the show. So, that. Put this back on. Hardest things to do. Trying to get this to fit back on without having too much issue. What's that? Okay, well, that's rebuilt. Then put the bed on there. Yeah. All right. Okay, well, that sucked. I was hoping kind of get that done, but oh well. It is what it is. I got some other stuff built for that, or get some stuff ordered for that. But okay, so that's mining truck. I am going to do lighting on this. The other thing I'm really going to do is probably tail lights. These all will glow with tea lights. I'm going to put one light underneath here, and maybe put 2 like forward headlights in the front with some clear. Just I'll have that running underneath and into a battery pack, or I may run USB to this thing. It's probably a lot better. That way I can turn it off and on easily. There's not that many lights to this thing. 2 there, 1 there, 5 lights. Go to one connect board to a USB adapter. I literally think I could probably get this thing wired within 15-20 minutes. So, but that's what I'm going to do with this. All right, moving on. I am sweating in here. Oh. So if you guys don't know, it's very cold down here. It's iguana freezing cold. That's how cold it is down here. And it's annoyingly, because I love the cold. And I wish I could go outside and be okay with it, but people freak out when you just see a fat dude in shorts just walking around when it's blistering cold. Saw a lady yesterday, 73 degrees here, and tonight it's going to be a low of 24. She was literally at 73 degrees wearing a winter coat because she was cold, walking her dog at 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm over here, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of insulation, I am fluffy, and I was sweating like crazy. Shorts on, t-shirt. Granted, I always wear shorts and t-shirt, but blew me away. All right, so what I need to do first is going to do mail call, and we got some parts and pieces in, so I need to find all those pieces and try to work through what's going on. So got an order in that has some wheels for the command and control, some brackets or hinges really for the pulsar, and these are 8 length neon green antennas, which you can never not use them enough. So cycle that. And outside of that, it's always good to get some plates. It's one thing I don't have is a lot of 1x black plates because I used it all on Corvinia. That ship is right at, I think, like 15,000 parts. When you look through all the detailing, the electronics, the Technic, that big ship is just it's a lot of parts. I mean, it's I think 120 studs long, 40 studs wide, 18 bricks tall. It's big. It's a massive ship. So that's one. This one is from EMS Bricks. Renee, Paul, these guys are amazing. They're out of North Carolina. Love them. They come to the shows. They brought stuff to me once before. I was in at Brick World in Chicago. Called them up. It's like, hey, I'm missing a few things. My ship fell apart. Can you send me something? They literally on the way up got the parts, brought them to me, and was just amazing. Never had an issue with them. The orders are always correct, and it's good. I never have an issue. Thanks for another great order, Haas and Stephanie. Love these guys. EMS Bricks. Can't go wrong with them. So, got some parts for another project. Put those away. Those came in, so I can work on that too. I'm not going to talk about that. Stay. All right. Dark blue gray plates. I need that for terrain. All right. And what else? Some dark blue Spaceman torsos. About a year ago they came out. They were, I think, in a PAB. I think they were PAB. And I know that they had them for a while. No one's bought them. Prices come down a little bit, so I ended up getting some. I've got 5 here. I've got enough legs. Helmets are coming. I ordered some helmets. So built some minifigs. I'm starting to get it to the point of enjoying a lot of minifigs. So well, that brings up another thing, is that Lauren, he's part of the NC Lug, does dyeing or painting. I don't know the process. I don't know what's wrong, but what he has done is that he has taken the original air tank, or the not air tank, but jetpack that came in Blacktron 2 minifigure, and he has dyed them red. I mean, it is a very nice part. I enjoy the idea of a good jetpack. I don't really like the original ones that Mtron did, but you know, it's classic. But it's literally that right there that is gorgeous, and this only comes in white. Will only ever come in white, and just it's I'd rather have had them red, because now it actually looks like it's a proper jetpack. It's got the handles, got some lights that I can put on there if I need to. And what I did is that I added a plate, a bracket actually, then a snot brick that looks like a battery pack with a grill and a little sensor light and a sensor array, and you know, the trans neon green cones that are put in here, and it actually looks like a nice proper jetpack. I've got all the parts ordered. It's I'm going to make about 10 of these, and I'm going to put them on the Corvinia, or not the Corvinia, but the Blacktron, Jesus, I need coffee. The Mtron mining rig, or research and mining rig number 2 on that MOC. I've got 10 of them. He also gave me a chainsaw, one of the original chainsaw holders, and it's over there, but he also dyed that in red, and it looks amazing too. You can find him on Instagram. I think it's Lorem System, and you can message me and I can send you his link. But he does it, and they look amazing. So I'm hoping to get all those built. I got 10 of them. I'm gonna put 10 together and put them out there. I even used the original torso on that, and I'm very happy with that. That was very good. I saw that he had some at Brick Fair, Virginia, Chantilly up there, and it's like, man, I gotta have those. So he had given me one before. Now I've got 10 total, so 11 altogether, and I'm just very happy with all that stuff. And I missed on that throw. I'm literally 0 for 2, or actually 1 for 3, because I did throw that one and landed right in the bag that I needed to. So EMS Bricks, Lorem, done some good stuff, and I'm really happy about that, getting that stuff in. So next one is Tomer's Bricks out of Beaver Creek, Ohio. I think this is the second order that I've got at Tomer's. Prices are okay. It is what it is anymore. But their thing that I bought from there, thank you for coming back. Yeah, like I said, I've ordered from them before, and a lot of their stuff is that they've got some newer parts and everything, but they've got a lot of older, you know, 1980s, 1990s parts for, you know, sub themes of, you know, classic space like Blacktron, Mtron, Ice Planet, stuff like that. So trying to go through the list. Oh, give me a little bonus. Give me a little bonus droid. And guess what? He's going to be put on there somewhere. Look at that. Little bonus droid. It's got a little camera, some arms. Man, that's nice. I love it when you order, you know, enough parts that throw in a little extra. Sometimes it's just leftover stuff, but man, you actually made a droid. That's awesome. Cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, shit, another droid. Definitely going to be used out there on the rig. This one's got a little scanner or gun or something like that. But look, 2 little droids. Thank you guys. That's awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. A lot of parts. Alright. So, There are 1x2 clear lenses that will go on the command and control. The door that goes on command and control. These are just some plates and some other stuff. Like I said, I'm just got a lot of random parts and pieces and stuff like that that I'm really kind of backfilling. If you don't get on, oh shit, a third one. Holy cow, look at that. Okay. Tomar, you outdid yourself here, man. That's great. Okay, this is awesome. I don't know if you can see that. That's cool as hell. Nothing wrong with that. Some other parts to backfill parts and pieces. Here are the 4 other hubs for the command and control truck. God damn, man, he made more. He put stuff in here. Look at that. I need to take some pictures and give him get it out on Instagram. Got a little couple droids here. Look at that. I would assume that they would be drones. Fly them in the air. That's funny that it just kind of landed that way. Alright, these are cheese slopes for the command and control also. Because I put 1x2 by half slopes on there and it doesn't look that good, so those are going to get replaced. These are bigger wheels that will go into stock for a different build that I'm doing. It goes in there. And let's open this thing up. Some more plates. Bricks. More rando plates. So when I use all the 1x's and stuff like that, I have to backfill them. And these are backfilling those plates. Really kind of affordable, but I can usually get, 50 or 60 of them at a time just because they're affordable. So some Mtron parts for other builds. I need a radar dish. There's one of those. And a couple jumpers for the Quasar build. And some Mtron logos. Oh, just dropped these guys, didn't I? I think I need one of those for Quasar. The rest of these parts are for another build. Can't really get into that. Another 2x2. Don't know what the cones are for. Yeah, I remember. Anyway. Alright, so parts for that. Maybe I can do the Quasar next and get that built. That's cool. Now Got a nice Maple Grove bricks, Maple Grove, Minnesota. More of in video. Man, they're kind of yellowed. Okay. It's alright. They were used. Parts for swag. Some space seats. So these were parts for swag. And the detail for the command and control. Don't know if I'm going to use them there or not. But yeah. Boy, I bet that's loud as hell. Alright. Boxes go down to recycle. Parts. Okay, swag. Awesome helmet there. I think it's a Bounty Hunter, Blacktron Bounty Hunter from the collectible minifig. It's hard to find that stuff anymore. They didn't make that many of them. A lot of people have hoarded them too. Right. Swag. So if you guys don't know, my wife does a lot of tentacle builds, and she's actually the owner of A&H Designs, and her swag, which is just simple. It's a couple plates, a couple flowers, and some tree or some plant pegs, and just it's simple. It looks good. It looks like a nice flowering plant in a plant. And on the bottom, we do a inverted tile, and we put our QR code on there that goes to Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that. So we wanted something distinguishable for A&H, which is this design. But still, hey, if you want to reach us or follow us or whatever like that, it's on there. You guys have probably seen a few of them, and we're making, I think, 100 of them for Atlanta BrickCon. So we're getting through that. We need some more pieces. Ordered those a week ago. So space seats, never have enough. They're basically go in supply, but it's that space seat. And I got one of these because of the command and control, the scooter or the speeder that's on the back. It's supposed to be red. Couldn't really find red that wasn't under $5. So I ended up getting one in black to put on there in the time being. So, but all that will go into storage. So let's do the pulsar real quick. Let's get this finished build. So M-Tron, I think this was 1990 set 6923. I think it's the pulsar. Little ship. It's got robot. It's got like a maintenance area on there. It's in the back. It's really kind of cool. Resembles a helicopter, which I think is kind of sharp looking, and the trans neon green is really pops because it's it's on top, it twirls and all that type of thing. So what I hope to do let's try to get this thing built or rebuilt, because I had parts. For some reason, it didn't come together. So I think the first thing first was needed this for the robot, and then these are the ears for the antennas. Oh no. Oh, lost a robot arm. So one robot arm, and it takes a modified plate on there. Yeah, I'm searching for it. I don't think there's one. These are all the leftover parts for the magnet core that I took apart. This is all Technic. Alright, so modified plates. Sort everything by bricks, plates, 2x plates, 2x bricks, all that type of stuff. And when it comes down to modified plates, I literally have just a bag full of stuff, and I literally just dropped it. And I'm gonna look at it, and it looks, I think it looks like the older one. Don't know. It's one thing if I ever sell this stuff, I go through and make sure the parts look the same. And I know that this has been used since the 60s. I think there's two variations. One is lower, one is in the middle, and one is raised up. This one's raised up, and I think that one is what was used on here. So that goes there, and then these go on the back as the antenna. I wonder what happened to the robot arm. I had it in there. Don't know what happened to it. So, yeah, missing robot arm, but I'll find one. So that's one. So he actually sits in here, and that comes down and that holds him in place. How cool is that? It's literally got a place for the robot to sit and be locked into place, and just it's awesome. Just kind of sits right in there, just like that. And that comes down, holds it in. And the other side, you can kind of see him just kind of sitting there. But that's pretty cool. So the other thing that was missing is that this does not connect, and this one is the older design. And it was missing so M-tron, for what I know, is for the magnets. M magnet, M-tron. And so all their stuff sticks with magnets. I think that's great. So this arm works together to be able to drop that off and pick it up. But currently, what it's missing is the original design. I think the original design took off that modified plate hinge, and we put this on here on the back side of two headlight bricks, and that gets connected into 2, and it folds over like that. But on the newer design, what has happened is that there is a plate, a hinge plate, or a modified tile, but I think it's still a hinge, that sits on the 2 jumpers. I get added on there. Then a modified plate, another hinge plate, and all that type of stuff to get it to go. But if you look at the original instructions, I think it's the original, or this is backwards. It had a swivel with 2 headlight bricks, a tile, that modified plate that acts like a hinge to do basically this maneuver, and that's all it is. But there's multiple ways of doing it, because I mean, he can actually, you know, do it off to the side or do other things, but it's mainly to offload this. The robot comes and does what he needs to do out of this. I think that there is a rocket part or a jewel, whatever that's inside there. Some tools in the back, all that type of thing. Got a little antenna for sensors, and this guy flies off, and this guy goes and does what he needs to do, and the robot pops out. He's able to land, pull up his antennas, and starts working. And he just flies off and goes and does whatever. So there's 2 different designs for this itself. But what I have original is what this is. And I think that can be done multiple ways. And I need to do that research of what's what. But currently, that's that. So then the second part is the actual headpiece of it that don't have those parts. Thought I did. So it was a 2x2 light gray plate with the hinge piece that I basically used for the robot, that went to another plate that has changed that, because I think the other design uses this on a hinge piece. Let's go. Alright, so I gotta find those pieces, because this set of instructions is different than what you find on like toyperiod.com. That this is different. I think even the robot's different, and then this attachment is different, because you can see that it had rotating plates, then 2 jumpers here, but that's not what the original was. The jumpers went away and went to the tile, to the headlights, and gone from there. That was on the back. This one has 2 jumpers, and this up front was a little bit different. And I think I have these parts. I just gotta find them. Okay, well, I guess this thing is still not done then. But ultimately, what happens is that this guy's on here is able to free spin, and there's a brick. What I remember, that goes in there, and it just spins like a helicopter. So that's that. There's the one plate, missing a hinge. So toyperiod.com is what had that other stuff on there. I always feel that there's a lot of unique stuff when you start looking at these older sets that they've had to change the design and put them back out there, and some look different, some work differently. For instance, is that I know that there's a change in the Blacktron space station that's there that changed the way that it operated, and it's not a lot of people know about it. Some of the older instructions don't have it in there. You have to find it. So I know you guys are probably gonna have a hard time seeing it, but at Toy Periods, it actually shows the plate, the 2 bricks, and all that type of stuff for that. And it's got a hinge that has a 3-spoke to a 2-spoke, just like what you see here for that. It goes in there. I'm gonna put the jumpers here. That and that in there. And then for the top area, it calls for a 2x2 or 2x2 plate, a modified plate, hinge pieces to be able to be put on there, and then that. So there's a little bit of difference, and I think what I'll do is that I'll find those pieces tomorrow or so to be able to put this together. I wonder if I saved it. No, I didn't save it. I thought I had it, because currently we can actually use the red hinge brick to do what the instructions say. Really not sure. I really like the look of this. I think if I'm going to do the older style, I need to do the older style for what's on here too. And that included this plate on top, 2 modified bricks, a 2x2, and that. So you guys bear with me. I can probably look for that stuff and put it all together. So that's kind of frustrating. Nope. Nope. Anybody see what happened to that bag of modified plates? If you do, let me know. It's in my hand. Alright. So to help speed up the process, biggest thing is, I don't know if you noticed, but I use IKEA tubs quite a bit. I like the IKEA tubs because they're only about $5-6. Dump out a lot of parts. Put in the bag. And they're pretty easy to search through. Like that. Individual clips, 1x1 modified plate with a clip. So I need 2 of them. They've updated them recently on the design, and I think I just got rid of that. That has 2 clips on there. That's helpful, and don't need that. So that's it right there. Oh, balls. So, and it's a 1x2 plate with 2 clips on there. But I need to... And the clips are horizontal, or vertical, sorry. Clips are vertical. There's that. Love it. You know, my brain is one of those that I know I've seen that piece. That piece is around here somewhere. I know where it's at, blah, blah, blah. Don't think that I'm actually gonna find it, but then I find it. 2x2, 1x2 with modified plates, then 1x1 with the vertical clips, they're the same height. And then the 2x2 with the connector on there. It goes on there. Then this is a 1x1 that has studs on 4 sides. Then a cone. Then light gray wine glasses, I think. Then cones, and then the 8-length antennas. So it goes on there like this. And then that snaps on like that. And there you go. There's literally nothing wrong with that. So I need to research on figure out, is that the new design or the old design? Because that's what's on toysperiod.com that has all the older instructions for these builds. Robot just fell out. That's what's on there. But the instructions that I got showed a different way. So I'm literally done with this design this rebuild of parts. That all I'm missing is just the robot arm. I can find one here shortly, I think. But goes up like that. He fits in there all nice and comfy. So I think he does. Just like that. Alright. So that's done. I'll have that sitting out at on the table there at Atlanta Brickin. Cool. So there's 2 different things. I don't know if it's on here, if it has the changes. Sometimes toysperiod.com has some comments and stuff like that. Watch video that's set above. I literally can probably do that. And this kid just dug it out. Petty all spaceships are blah blah blah. Dad found instructions lying around. Okay. So there's no comment about the two different designs. I know Facebook Mtron group, they're pretty up to date on what that is. I know those admins over there, those guys are pretty good when it comes to this. That I'll send a message to them and maybe I can get some information. But there it is. gorgeous set. You know, the wings operate, everything operates. The canopy comes up, comes with a minifig and a robot. There's a lot of playability here, and that's the only thing I really ever care about is how much playability and how much zoom the thing can do. There's a lot there. Well, that's that. So I will take that to Atlanta Brickin. So these are extra parts. Let's go over there. That. I don't even know what the cones are for. I have to remember what the cones are for. Anyway, so that's that one. And the last thing, I think I'm going to do the work on the command and control rig. And it's getting a little bit late. It's already 20 after. So I'm going to do a couple little parts and pieces, then I'm going to call it done. So this is the command and control rig that I had built over the last 2 weeks. And a little bridge that goes there, or a little, not bridge, but landing, and that goes on there. I can put it all together later, but I'm going to be tearing a few things apart to get to it. So one of the first things, I'll set that over there, get out of the way of the build area, is so right now the way that this thing is that you've got a cab with a navigator in there. Then in here is that you've got a shower, restroom, storage area. Then there's a little break area in the middle, and then a little bunk area in the back. And that's literally the same design of the Arctic truck that was built. Wonderful design, just incredible. I'm not going to show you here because this one is done. The interior on that one isn't. So if you can see, is that sink, shower, all that type of stuff, little break area. That's where the pizza was. That's on there. Then little bunk area in the back, and it's got a nice little kitchenette. It's got a faucet, got a hot plate area for cups and that. The other thing I did not like about that is that there's some wasted space in this area that, you know, that could be storage. So I think that when I model this on the inside, that this will change up a little bit to have an area for storage for space suits or helmets or stuff like that to get hung up. And I know there's some people that have done some great, just wonderful looking spaceships, space stations, little outposts and all that type of stuff with heavy detailed interiors. And some of that stuff I just was like, man, it's amazing. I'd love to do that. But with this guy, I did not have time to do any of that. But I do have the walls built, so it'll be the shower, storage, you know, that type of thing, break area, then the bunkhouse. I think I'm going to add a second level to get at least 4 in there. But that's literally what we're trying to, or I'm not going to have time to do. But there's a couple little things that I want to try to get done. And what that is that I'll change out the seat here. I'm going to actually put the door in here with a little overhang on that. Going to change out the light blue lenses, these 1x2 slopes, all that because they seem kind of chunky, to be able to kind of make it look a little bit better. So I'm literally like 15 minutes worth of stuff to make this look a heck of a lot better. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I think the first thing first is that I'm going to take the speeder seat off. Don't know what that was. And put the spaceship seat on there. Yeah, in truth of the matter, this little guy actually needs to have roll-bar arms on there, on that too. But the space seat looks a heck of a lot better. And that, I love this, has a slide-out piece with some really cool engineering that I did a reel on. That there is a modified hinge brick and a modified plate hinge that slide together that should not slide together, but there's enough compression and clutch power between the modified brick and the modified plate that when they hook together, it locks into place and it's satisfying. It does take a little bit of force to pull it out, and it just locks it in place. So I really like the idea how this is retracted back, but then it adds a location to be able to put a nice little speeder on the back, just like that. Cool, right? So happy with that. Next thing is that these areas up top, you gotta be careful about that. That window is only attached to the side. Is that had to put these 1x2 half slopes on there because I didn't have any cheese slopes. But now that I got cheese slopes, I can put them on here. And I'm going to change out the light blue translucent 1x2 tiles with clear. I'm going to add lights in these two. That's that. Oh, that looks a heck of a lot better. Do that. Something like that. Then need a couple grill pieces. I don't know what happened to my tile pieces. Time in. Well, they should be here because I just looked at them. Sometimes you gotta be smarter than a bag. Literally picked it up, looked at it. 1, 2. These are actually actual light grays. So they'll go in here, and then this goes back up top, and that looks a lot better. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Tiles, and I will at for the convention. There will be lighting in here because with the command and control, you need to have lighting, And this is kind of a contractor's truck that has a break area, has it could be an office, could be a bunkhouse, whatever type of thing. But to be able to have people to go eat and all that type of stuff. So I was trying to do that in research mining rig. It wasn't big enough. I needed to add a little bit more room. Didn't have a place really to add the room. So this is what I'm dealing with, is that I wanted something to do that. So the superintendent or anybody like that to come over and be able to sit and have a meeting, get some lunch, do whatever. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that just flew out of my hands. So this is technically a contractor's truck, but it's a CCT, command and control truck. And that goes on the other side, like there you go. So that got changed out from the 1x2x1/2 slopes, light blue to clear, and add a little grill piece in the middle to make up that has more idea of what is on the other one, or on the Arctic truck. So next thing is that I wanted to change out this door, because trans neon only comes into these type of pieces here. The trans neon green only comes in, I think these are 3x6, and the door itself is a 3x5, which is more minifigure-ish scale. That this translucent panel, even though it looks like a door, it's not a door. You know, it could be a force shield that you walk through or something like that, but I think it does look better with this being a door that can open up and close and all that. So I think that's what I wanted to do. And this is going to be just a little bit of tough. Oh, well, maybe not. So that's that. The door comes out. Now I need a 1x4, I think. That's why you buy extra parts. Oh my God, what the hell? Gotta be smarter than a damn brick. Alright, that's that. So we're gonna add that here to raise that up. Then this guy goes there. And all we have to do is figure out the difference in what I need to go there. It looks like it's right at a brick. So can I pop that guy off and go with a longer brick to hold that in place? I think I can. So that's that. He's going to stay there. I don't know how many people that just have an overall, just someone speaking in your head all the time. Like, I know one person that did it a lot was Bob Ross when he and friend, this tree needs a nice little shrub, friend. And here we go, we're gonna add a shrub. Oh, you know what that tree needs? That tree needs a rock. He needs a rock buddy to get through the nights and blah blah blah. Hate to say that, that's literally my brain right there, is trying to work through, hey, you know, let's do this. He needs a friend. I'm some reason, it works out. I don't know why, but it does. So that. So what it is, I added a 1x8 to have 2 studs bearing there, 2 studs bearing there, and have the door swing. Now I need is a 1x1 put in there. So everything you see in these bags is used parts. Love using used parts. They're a lot freaking cheaper. Sometimes you can't get used parts. And sometimes you just gotta just buy new. For instance, I know that I could not find used parts of these easily, so I ended up having to buy new. It was kind of frustrating, but that's what it is. That every single part on there they buy, it's a brand new part, and it looks brand new. It's just gorgeous. It has no issues. It has no whatever. And some of the stuff when you model from the 80s or even the 60s or 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, you can't find it without just having to pay a crap load worth of money. So guess what? I'm good with used. As long as it's clean, as long as it's not chewed on, stuff like that. All right. Okay, I like that. That's a nice little door. I like that. Do not know what happened to the lens, but since it's literally the same door, I'm going to take this, pull it out. So I thought I ordered one. I don't seem to see it here, so I need to check to see what happened. But that door has a lens in there, holds it in place, and it looks like a nice little door. Cool, right? All right, so door, got this done, seat. Now it's off to changing out the tires. That's literally the last thing we're going to do tonight. All right, so the way that these tires are on here is that didn't need to do that, but that's what happened. Is that set that off to the side? Is that they are held on with an axle with a inverted, not really inverted, but backwards round 2x2 plate, and then a rounded cap. And I love the shape of these tires. They're gorgeous. They look like a nice all-terrain tire, except that white doesn't really fit the color scheme. And I wasn't going to change them because I was having a hard time finding them, but I ended up finding black. Had to buy new. They're not in a lot of sets, but that's what I ended up doing. So just replace that and see how they look, because right now the white does not look the best. I know I put this trivia out there earlier, like a month or two ago, but do you know what company sells the most rubber tires in the world? Lego. Lego, Lego, Lego. Okay, that's just mean looking. Hell yeah. Just mean. Alright. Alright, so the tread's got to go forward. And that's got to go out this way. And around. That's that cap. Boy, I can always model this that has a flat tire. The engineering of this thing is impressive. So that just kind of goes on. And the cap inverts. Find the right location. There we go. Look at that. Look at the difference between the black and the white. I just think that looks mean as hell. Cool. 4 more. Oh, and I think I just made a problem. Big problem. Yeah, I basically tore that all apart. Crap. Okay, that was not supposed to happen. Class, what's the beauty of Legos? It falls apart. You can always rebuild it. So those are the pins that go on the bottom that are impressive. And the reason why I say impressive, because I always like engineering. Engineering is one of those things that just I love. It's one of those things that it's like if we didn't have engineering and science, we wouldn't have really much of anything in life. So what we do is we engineer stuff. We discover, we solve for, we test, we try to fix and do better type of thing. I mean, that's literally what science is, and technology and engineering and all that type of thing. And why I say that is that because most of the time when you start doing wheel stuff, all you have to do is worry about the power of the clutch to whatever, of the stud to whatever you're doing. They went above and beyond just because of how this is that there's a 2x2, and maybe I can rotate it. There's a 2x2 brick that is connected into these modified plates here that hold that together, and that's basically the whole frame of the build. That was literally like the second, third thing that you built. You build these modified plates, you put that brick in there, and I thought it was just a connector piece. But the way that this goes together is that this comes to the bottom of that, and you take these pins, go through these Technic plates, through the 2x2 round that has an axle hole in there that ties into that connector plate or that connector brick that has an axle hole in there. So it ties it together. It's engineered that it's not going to fall apart. Brilliant. Why can't they do a lot of that? I mean, it's just amazing design. And somebody there over in Denmark who designed this did a great job. Because this is a heavy duty truck. It's very heavy. And it's one of those things that I know somebody really playing with it, that the wheels would just keep on falling off. But no, they did a really good job. Okay, treads that way. I never thought how hard it would be trying to put a wheel on a rim that's Lego. It's kind of difficult. That's that. That just goes on there, and it's just a hubcap per se. So let's get these others done. Facing that way. Go in. Gets put on this side. that. So it turns that way, so this has to go in that direction. Last one. Tread, wheel. Cool. All right, that one. All right. From the original design, I also moved him out one stud. Got a little bit longer axle in here. I'm just try to widen this up just a little bit more. So like I said, this goes on here, and it's secure. Don't get me wrong, it's secure. Take these axle pins and you put it in there, push it, and that's just solid as hell. Still articulation, and they did it in the front here. They did the 4x6 Technic. I think it's a lift arm or beam, and then they did the same 2x2 but with a connector on there, and they tied that in there, and it is very, very, very functional. It's solid. There's a lot of engineering, and I love it. It's great. So that's that. So we're put the deck on there. There's the other parts and pieces. We've got the stand for it. We're taking one of the maintenance bins from Megacore Magnetizer. That on there. This little guy. Only if it was built better. I'm not saying that I don't build stuff well. Sometimes to get the right look, it's just not the best of builds. That's all I'm going to say to that. Got that. And we're going to put him on there. Then we've got one kind of radar tower. And there you go. You've got the command and control rig number 28. It's got the driver, navigator. Like I said, on the interior, there's going to be place for toilet, shower. There's a little break area with a couple seats. It's got a sink, hot plate, storage area, a little restroom. Then you got bunkhouses. The Arctic truck came with 2, but I think I'm going to build 4. It's got a little place for the scooter or the speeder to dock, and that gets retracted and come back. So that was kind of cool. That's that. Then the top, it's got a whole bunch of different arrays and some other studs to be able to add some minifigures, a little maintenance screw. And got a guy on jetpack there. I can add these droids at some point in time. But literally, that's it. I wanted to modify those plates and stuff for this thing, and I think it just looks mean. So all that we did was change out the space seat on the speeder. We changed out the look of the lights here, took away the 1x2 slope brick, and put cheese slopes and then the clear versus the light blue. We did that over there and on both sides. We changed out the door, added a new header across there to tie it all together, and the door operates. If I can actually operate it, because I can't see it. Sometimes you gotta be smarter than a brick. You got that. So, door actually opens up. That's kind of cool. I like that. Door opens up. You can see the inside. I wish I can figure out how to dye some of that stuff, because I would love to dye that trans neon blue or trans neon green. Dumbass. Don't worry about it. Then what else we do? Changed out the wheels. So I think it looks mean as hell right now. So anyway, that's all I'm doing tonight. So if you got any questions or comments, put them out there. I usually respond. I'll save this out and put it out there on there for everybody to see. But got the parts done on that, on the Quasar. Changed that out. Trying to rebuild a few things. Interesting that there's two different versions. I need to figure out which version is correct. What do? We tried to do the wheels on there. On the mining truck, did not work out well. It was didn't know about the plate in front that held the cab on there. But so that's it. If you guys like, subscribe, stuff like that. I'll be doing this maybe once or twice a week. I am probably going to go live at Atlanta Brickin for a little bit. Depends on the Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to do that. I may just set up a cam for people walking by and just go live that way and talk about the build. So if you got any questions, comments, subscribe, let me know. Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night.